Well, this is a rare treat. We got Michael Dean Goodrich. Hi, buddy.
Hi. It
How
is
are you?
great to be here in your new studio.
I know. I'm kind of excited.
Yeah.
I know. I've been screwing around with it for a few days now, so we'll still chump our way through it a little bit. But I appreciate you coming in. I know you had a special
looking spot. Yeah.
Thanks,
I like
man.
it.
You had a special project you came in for,
Yeah.
and we'll share that on Ramona Radio over the days to come, which will be kind of cool.
That sounds really cool.
But since I have you,
Exciting.
I figured, what the hell? Why not?
Might as well
Let's
take
do
a little
it.
time together. Yeah.
Let's do it. So you got a new album come out. A new, what is it? EP?
EP.
Album?
Yeah.
What is it called?
6-song EP
Six-song
in
EP?
December of
Yeah.
23. Yeah. So
Oh,
that
so it's been
was
a couple
great.
months.
Yeah.
It's been a couple months.
Yeah. And then I had a 3-song EP collaboration with Ashley E. Norton. That was
That's
the
true.
most recent thing.
Yeah.
And really excited about that. Those are
This
some
right
great
here is
songs.
just cool. This, let's see if we can get the right one going here. That's this one, right?
Yeah, the islands in
Islands in the Stream.
Yeah.
That was kind of cool. What made you guys decide to do that?
Oh, we were looking for duets to do, and that just popped into Ashley's head, and I said, let's try it. Yeah, it's
What a
a little bit
great
on my
remake.
high end, for singing, but yeah, we winged it, and it sounds pretty good.
I like that. It's got to be a little intimidating to take on a song with two legends like that.
Absolutely, yeah, something I grew up with, and
Right?
never thought I'd ever sing. Yeah,
I know, it's kind of cool.
and here it is.
I know. And I'll be honest with you, it's been a big hit. A lot of people have been saying, Did you hear that song by Michael Dean Goodrich? I'm like, yes, I heard that song.
Yeah.
Of course. That's cool.
I'm glad we decided to put that one out with Ashley and I.
Yeah,
That little 3-song thing is a lot of fun.
that's cool. You guys working on anything else together?
That
There's
is in
always
the plans.
something.
Always something.
There's always
yeah.
something.
Yeah.
There's always something. That's cool. All right, so your EP came out that last December, and it's been getting a lot of good reviews. Really kind of fun. What else are you working? You working on anything else right now?
Yeah, so that was volume 1 of 3 volumes that I want to do on this
Holy cow.
through the years. So on that first volume, I pick 3 older songs that I've done over the last 30 years since I've been playing music, and I bring back three old ones, and then do 3 newer ones that I've written, kind of mix them together, and just kind of gonna do 3 different volumes. So I get next one I'm gonna probably start in June, start recording with John again.
The Wizard of Oz.
Yeah, and we'll just start putting some songs together for that. I have some ideas of what I want to do on the old stuff. I started in a punk rock band when I was a
Get outta
teenager.
here.
So yeah.
Did you really?
Yeah, and three of the songs from the first volume, "In My Soul" and being the main one, are from that old punk rock band. I just kind of acoustify them and make them a little more country fried, which is kind of what I'm doing.
Nice.
Americana.
We had another artist come in not too long ago, Ethan Gilsdorf. You know Ethan?
Yes. Uh-huh.
Yeah, he had the same story. He was a punk rocker.
Yeah.
Punk rock, and then I think he was saying a few years ago he just a song came on the radio or something like that, and it just completely it countrified him.
Yeah.
As well, and he's
Yeah.
full on.
Oh yeah, he definitely is a lot more. In that.
That's cool.
But yeah, I'm excited to get the next volume out, and I've picked some good songs that haven't really seen the light of day since I was, since the year 2000 or 2001 when I ended the punk rock band with my friends and stuff. So it'll be nice to acoustify those and bring them out back to the light of day, and
Yeah.
kind of see what people think of them.
Right?
Yeah.
Now, you said that was like, what? Well, gosh, that'd be 23 years ago now.
Yeah.
20-ish?
Yeah.
23 years. And that was here in
I
Southern
was in
California?
San Diego. Yeah, I
You were in
lived
San
in
Diego?
PB for 20 plus years.
Oh, okay.
And I moved to PB in '95, with my twin brother and a couple other friends. We were in a punk rock band in Phoenix, but based out of Idaho. We graduated high school in Idaho. Found the few punk rock kids that we knew in town or at our school, and started a punk rock band. And we were really looking to make it big and just do music. And so Idaho didn't have much at that time. Phoenix was budding as a punk rock scene, and bands like Green Day were starting to come up there. And we were in love with things like Bad Religion and Pennywise and NoFX. And so we moved out to Phoenix and started playing music and did it, as much as we could, and just found it was too hot.
Too hot, yeah.
Too hot, and there was not a lot of water around. So we didn't want to go back to Idaho because we wanted to continue music.
Now, you all moved down from Idaho, like, as a group?
Yes.
Really?
Yeah.
So where did all your friends end up? They still around?
Most of them went back to Idaho. My twin brother's still here in San Diego.
Okay.
He's in like Normal Heights area, and we connect every once in a while and do some acoustic stuff together at the house. Or
Is
with
it still
family.
his music? The punk is still kind of his music?
He's more into like the beachy stuff, like Jack Johnson.
Okay.
A lot of Hawaiian stuff. He picked up the ukulele and started really playing ukulele, tambourine, and harmonica, kind of all together. And he does a lot of really cool stuff with some organizations down in San Diego.
Oh, cool. Have you guys thought about doing a collab together?
I've talked to him about it, but he's not up for the live stuff. Maybe some recording he might do, but so I'll have to keep working on him with that. But he played out with me a couple times for some events that we did that I did for the Burn Institute, and he was like, yeah, playing in public's just not my thing.
Right.
But we'll do family stuff, and he's more than comfortable to hang out with 20 or 30 family members and their friends, and we'll jam. Like there's 5 or 6 of us that play and get together.
Oh, that's
and we'll
cool.
just jam at different events
That's cool.
and stuff. Yeah,
That's cool. Now, you got to give me a little background on this one, too.
Oh, Haley, yeah.
Because I heard you say once that somebody said, or a few people have mentioned a few times that they thought you wrote the song about an old girlfriend.
Yes.
Yes.
Most, I would say 90% of the people listen to that, and it's either I wrote it about an ex-girlfriend or it's about my daughter. And I was like, well, neither is true. And they're like, no way. What is it? And so I was living in PB at the time, and the punk rock band had broken up in early 2001. Or late 2000, excuse me. And then 2001 and 2002, I was just starting to do acoustic stuff by myself. I'd never really played by myself. Finding a few spots down in PB and OB to go play open mics and try and get little gigs and stuff. And I was playing on the beach a lot. A friend of mine moved from Idaho down here just to kind of a temporary thing. He was finishing school doing some stuff. He was in school in Idaho, and in the summers he was a river guide, and he had done it 10 plus years, like a whitewater rafting guide.
Right.
And I was just kind of waiting tables and doing other things like that. And he said, if you want, I can try and get you on to my company. If you move up for the summer and dedicate yourself to being there all summer, we can try and get you trained, and then you can do that. You can find a part-time job up there doing what you're doing. You're just waiting tables and hanging out and stuff. And so I did. I moved to Idaho, and my aunt happened to live in Haley, Idaho, and a couple of my cousins. I didn't know anyone else up there, and my friend was a little further north in Stanley. It's about an hour north of Haley, about 75, 76 miles. And so I moved to Haley because that was a good base to start from, and my aunt was more than welcoming, excuse me, to have me for the summer. Just like, just come stay with us. We'll figure it out. So I moved there. I got a little part-time job. And then that was right before Memorial Day, which they kind of kick off their training for the whitewater season. So I'd drive up, the hour, and I'd stay for a couple of days and get on with some of the season guides. Excuse me. I just hit the microphone, talking with my hands. And
there's got to be some Italian in there somewhere.
Yeah. And so I went up and did that, and I stayed the whole summer in Haley, and just once or twice a week I'd go up and river guide with my friends and stuff. I didn't get a job that year, but I hung out with them a lot. And I ended up starting an open mic up there in Stanley. So I'd stay up there a couple of days and go do the open mic at the local bar, the old K Club. And but I spent most of my time in Haley. Met some really cool friends like the first week I was there. And there was some music stuff going on in town, so I just stayed there, and then we hit it off, and we started playing music together. We'd go out on like camping excursions and just play all night. In the summer in Idaho, it gets dark around 10:30, 10:45 or so. So you have daylight all the way, till that late at night. So you just hang around drinking a few beers around the campfire, like 10 people in a circle. Before I knew that was really a thing. And so I spent the whole summer doing that, made some really great friends, hung out with my family, my aunt and my cousins, and came back to San Diego. And I remember driving the 13, 14 hours from Haley to San Diego in one stretch, just stopping for coffee and gas. I made it back to PB. I drove straight down to the beach, and I jumped in the water in right around Law Street, and came back out, and I was like, I want to start writing a song about my experience. And literally, like, I was tired from the 13, 14-hour drive, but I started kind of playing around with that song, and made some good progress on it. And like 3 days later, I had the whole thing written, and I recorded it and on little recorder, and just kind of kept playing with it and started playing it out, open mics and stuff like that. And it kind of took people really enjoyed it. And,
right.
Right. And I didn't have a way of getting it to my aunt or anybody like that. But the very next summer, I went up and played it, and they fell in love with it, and I knew it was a keeper.
Is it the Newtown song?
It should be, yeah. I should send it to their radio station.
It's actually funny because I was talking to you.
Kasky,
right, I was talking to you not too long ago because I'm a pilot as well.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden I realized I was flying into Haley, and that's what they call it. And I go up there all the time.
Yeah.
And then I thought, and I was talking to somebody in Haley, and I says, "Have you heard this song?" And they're like, "Oh, I actually heard that song. Somebody played it for me not too long ago." So it's out there. It's out there.
Yeah. It's getting some traction. I like that. Yeah.
That's pretty cool. You have a Randy Travis tribute thing coming up soon.
Yeah, Saturday, May 4th.
Because if I can, like, you got the Michael Dean Goodrich voice.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like, it works. And so when I saw that come through, I'm like, oh, man, it's going to be great.
Yeah, I'm getting a lot of good feedback from people. They're like, what's this about this? And then I start talking to them, and they look at me like, yes, you do have the voice.
Right.
So, yeah, I'm doing the Randy Travis tribute at Smoking Cannon Brewery May 4th, 6 p.m. to 9 p.m., and I'm just going to start off. I kind of made a list of the order I want to do the songs to kind of make a good flow, and it's just all 16 of his number one hits I'm going to be playing, as well as a few others. And Forever and Ever Amen is one of the first ones that people started recognizing here in town that I would play, and they were like, yes, that is your voice, that is your signature, so do more of his stuff. So it happens to be Randy Travis's birthday on May 4th.
Right.
And 3 months ago, I was looking at that, and I was like, I have a gig on May 4th. I'm just going to combine the two and make sure I do it on his birthday as a tribute to him and his inspiration for me to play music since I was a kid. So
nice. I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah.
Now, I was talking with another artist not too long ago, and there's this friendly debate we have going on. Who's the king of country? Like, who owns it? What is your opinion?
I think George Strait has been a long-term artist that I've always admired, and I know he is considered the king of country. And I agree with that to an extent. I know that Hank Sr. had great potential to be one, but he had such a short career. Mm-hmm. I think he paved the way for so many people, and I listen to his stuff a lot. And I think it's to real country musicians and real country lovers, he's right up there. I think for me, it is George Strait. I think it could have been also Keith Whitley. I was in love with everything he did.
Really? Wow.
Again,
that's the first time I've heard Keith Whitley come up. Yeah. But I can see it.
Yeah,
I can see it.
He had such a short career, and it unfortunately ended when he was just kind of hitting his peak. But I think if he had a longer standing inspiration and career, more runway on his career, and more songs and more albums, I think he would have been it. I mean, his voice. I mean, even today, I listen to his stuff, and no way I can emulate it, but I try, and I love his songs, just his style. So
we were kind of talking, kind of like Patsy Cline. We had the discussion about Patsy Cline kind of getting really rolling, kind of hitting that peak, and having her career cut tragically short.
Yeah, again, her as well as the Queen.
It's the Queen, right?
Yeah, I don't know who the Queen would be. Is it considered Dolly Parton?
No, I think
it could be.
That's
her.
a fun debate.
Yeah,
it's a fun debate.
Yeah,
yeah.
We should get some ladies in here, and we'll have a debate.
We'll have to get some girls in here.
Guys versus the girls. And
you got a show idea. Let's get it done.
There we go. All right.
Yeah, we'll put some Gentleman Jack up on the table and we'll just let the discussion go for a couple of hours and see how rowdy it gets.
Yeah.
That's funny. All right, pick a song off your new album. I want to hear it. Beginning to end, what would be your favorite?
Like like I said, In My Soul. It's a good, fun-loving song. It's a simple song about the beach and about riding the waves and being part of the ocean, and that's probably a good.
I think it's kind of
a good segue into.
It's a cross. It's kind of a cross thing.
Yeah, that's the one. That's the punk rock song that became a good old acoustic fun song.
Run down flame. Only one true thing keeps embedding in my mind. It's about all the nights we stood there watching the waves roll by, thinking of a past that would not die. Well, it's a past that will not die, 'cause it's in my soul. And I float like a feather in a warm show in my soul. And I don't have a clue of where I've been, but it's in my soul. It's in my soul. Whoa, 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 whoa. Well, I guess we'll see another fine day. Live it up and just do it all over again. But I'm on my way to find out what she's got to give. And as I'm falling in the deep sand safe tonight, reminded of a past that would not die. It's a past that will not die, 'cause it's in my soul. And I float like a feather in a warm show in my soul. And I don't have a clue of where I'd been, but it's in my soul. It's in my soul. Whoa, yeah. So what can I say about the days lost? All the miles run ragged on a rundown flame. Only one true thing keeps embedding in my mind. It's about all the nights we stood there watching the waves roll by, thinking of a past that would not die. Oh, my brothers, it's a past that will not die, 'cause it's in my soul. And I float like a feather in a warm show in my soul. And I don't have a clue of where I've been, but it's in my soul. 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 Yeah.
Thank you
I
very
like
much.
that.
Yeah, it's one.
And
of my
that started
favorites.
off as a punk/beach tune.
Yeah. It's I should bring you the CD of the original. We recorded that in 1999 with Sven Eric Seaholm at his studio in San Diego.
Oh,
we
yeah.
We did 13 songs, and they're all kind of ranging from hard punk to melodic punk, and you might like that too.
I would.
Who knows?
Well, I'm very eclectic.
Yeah.
You know, because when you leave, I got my reggae going.
Yeah.
You know, I like it all. I like it all. I'm not biased. Cool. If I can ask, you mentioned earlier that you've done some benefit stuff for the Burn
Institute, yeah.
Burn Institute down there, and I did read a small article on what had happened to you in that evening. Would you mind telling us that story a little bit?
Not at all.
You comfortable with that?
Yeah, of course. So in 2005, I was up in Idaho, up in Stanley, doing river guide stuff, and it was a hectic time in my life, running back and forth between Haley Sun Valley and Stanley. And one night, kind of midsummer, was partying a lot with some friends, and I did 2 different river trips in one day. So I was tired and dehydrated and just did not take care of myself, didn't eat. And I was hosting the open mic that night. So I went to the bar and was playing all night and drinking with friends. And someone invited me to an after party, which I never really went to, just because, it's a long day and I had to leave the next morning at some point. But we went and we drank more, and it was about 3:30 in the morning. And I was kind of done. They were still kind of hanging out. I knew I was done. So I went and fell asleep next to a big rock, which was about 10 feet away from the pit. I was in jeans and a T-shirt. It was pretty cold outside, even though it's summer up there. It gets down to 45 degrees at night. And they kind of all wandered off. They tried to pick me up, they said, but I wasn't budging. So all kind of wandered off. And about an hour later or so, I kind of came to a little bit, and I went next to the fire pit. It was a big fire pit, and the rocks were warm, so I kind of curled up in the fetal position around the ring of that. And I guess in my sleep, I was trying to get closer and closer, and I just kind of rolled into the pit and kind of fell down into the bottom of it and kind of got stuck in a curled position, and then kind of woke up. It wasn't really hot at first, so didn't really register to me that I was in there. And a minute and a half later, I would say, I kind of woke up, and I was just kind of burning. Coals were stuck into my skin at that point. My clothes had started on fire, I think, which woke me up. Just the light of the flames on my T-shirt and my jeans. So I looked down, and I immediately started trying to get out and trying to push myself out. Took a couple minutes to do that, and by then I was charred in a lot of spots, and my right leg was really burnt. I had river sandals on at the time, so it saved the bottoms of my feet, but the tops of my feet were really messed up. My whole right pant leg had burned all the way off up to my knee. So that was, 3rd degree burns all the way up there. And then my right arm and hand, which were in the fire when I fell in and trying to push myself out, also burned to 3rd degree. And my fingertips were burned into the, almost into the bone from what they told me by the time I got to the hospital. So I crawled out. I tried to get help. I was looking around. It was 4:30 in the morning, something like that, from what the sheriffs and everyone told me time frame wise. And I looked, and it was starting to get light out, and I wasn't finding anybody, and I could barely walk. I could barely talk from the smoke inhalation, and couldn't yell out. And then I was just kind of stumbling around, and I found an older trailer that someone was living in. It was kind of an RV park / campground area, and kind of knocked on the door, and no one answered, but the door was unlocked, and I kind of crawled in there, and I just kind of fell on the ground, and there was a blanket, so I grabbed it and pulled it over me, and I just kind of felt I'm just going to go to sleep, and if I die, then I die. And then about an hour later, they said the neighbor kept hearing me kind of moan and in pain, came into the RV and pulled the blanket up off of me and saw me and knew that I needed help. So he took me into town to get help. And, the sun was coming out at that time, and a little town of 100 people in the summer, and the urgent care was closed. So they kept calling the sheriffs, and finally the sheriffs started showing up, and first responders, and a lot of those first responders, like I've always told in the story, were this, it's such a small town. They're the volunteers, and they're the guys I was drinking beer with the night at the bar, and they all kind of went home and had no idea, and they're running to me with their eyes wide open, like, oh my God. And I looked at them, and the fear in their eyes, I was like, uh-oh, it's bad. And then I just blacked out. I know that they said I stayed awake, but I blacked out. And they got me to Life Flight, and they got me over to Boise, which was the closest place. And they stabilized me as much as they could in flight. And Boise sent me to the burn unit in University, Utah. And they immediately induced me into a coma from the swelling. It was about 6-7 hours from the time I got burned to the time I got to the burn unit in Utah. So by that time, swelling had taken in, and they made sure that my air passage was clear enough to breathe, and then they induced me into a coma and got me into the ICU and started taking care of me and stuff. And from then on, it was just kind of a fight to stay alive, and going through the surgeries and stuff like that. I was in there for 3 months, almost to the day, and had 9 different skin grafts and at least 2 major surgeries, one on my foot and one on my fingers to amputate the fingertips. And most people don't know that either when I'm out playing. and having known me for years, they look and hear the story and have no idea that, you know, all my fingertips on my right hand, my strumming hand, are amputated down to the, you know, into the bone, into the first knuckle. So, you know, I got my fingernails back, which they didn't expect, which is, you know, miraculous, because that's what I use to help kind of strum.
Right,
and,
right.
And I, you know, after I got out, you know, I had to kind of learn to play guitar again. It was frustrating. It took 2 or 3 years of quitting, you know, after starting and stopping, because I couldn't do it. And it was always in my mind that I used to be so good, and I did, you know, I ruined this for myself, and, you know, I'm never going to get it back. But, you know, here I am.
Right.
After so many times of trying. And the thing with the Burn Institute connection was that I was not finding healing emotionally from the burn injury, and because I felt so guilty about it and felt that I didn't deserve healing because I had caused it to myself. Drinking and going out and being crazy and doing stupid stuff finally caught up to me, and you know, I deserve this because of that. That was my frame of thought. Someone talked me into getting sober, a really good friend of mine. And once I started getting sober, she said, you should really reach out to the Burn Institute. They could maybe guide you in some different areas. And reluctantly, I went in and I found the most amazing people that had been through so many similar stories like mine. And a lot of them, just like me, felt guilty because of this or that. And I started kind of on the path to healing myself emotionally and getting the help with them to do so. And, you know, a couple years into that, they invited me to the Camp Beyond the Scars, which happens every July. It's a no-charge camp for burn-injured children from 6 to 18. And it's all done by donations, and they invited me to be a counselor and a mentor for that. And I went to that, and it completely changed my outlook on things and how I could help the kids as well as the other adults and the young people that are out there that, you know, have this going on in their lives too, and are trying to find healing and trying to find acceptance in how they look now and how they're feeling in their day-to-day life. And I try and pull that strength when I'm having hard times, and sometimes it's hard, and then I have to look at a camp book or go and volunteer with a Burn Institute, and it completely changes my outlook.
Kind of resets you.
Yeah, it really does. And it's so amazing how something simple like that, giving back, can do so much good for my heart, and it fills me up every single time.
I love that.
And, yeah.
I love that. Well, that's a crazy story. That's a crazy story. And you know, I think all too often there's this mentality of you reap what you sow, right?
Yeah.
And then you probably felt for a while that, you know, that's what I get. And, you know, I've talked to disabled vets and, you know, people born with, you know, whatever. And life and circumstances, you don't have any control over that, you know, and it is to what it is. And it can be hard to get over that sometimes, that feeling like you did it to yourself, right?
Yeah, absolutely. That was the biggest thing I think that held me back for so long, was that I did not deserve healing. I was destined to suffer from this forever, and that's not the case for anyone going through anything like that.
Right.
You know.
Well, thank you for sharing that story with me.
Absolutely.
I really appreciate it, and thanks for coming by. I think it was just cool to hang out with you, get to know
Really
you a
is.
little bit better.
Yeah,
I mean, you know, Cassie and I, we spend 7 nights a week going to shows, and it's not often we just get to sit down and get to know you guys, and I really appreciate you coming by and hanging out. Give me one more Michael Dean Goodrich song to take us out with. I'd appreciate it.
Let's go with from the first album, the 2020 album, Unfold. It's a song about embracing the people you love, and it is kind of my mantra when I go out into the world and I'm feeling a little anxiety and stuff. I know that if I can embrace my friends and my family and the people like you that I see out there, as soon as we see each other, that embrace, that warm embrace that we get to hug and talk and just, you know, it's another thing that just kind of fills me up. And I think if people did a lot more of that in this world, we'd be a lot closer together. And we need that, I think, more now than ever.
I agree. Michael, thank you. I really appreciate
Been
it,
an
my
honor.
friend.
Thank you.
I imagine awaking to feel the sure mist on my skin. I've covered a lot of ground just to be here now. Can't really describe the thought and the uncertainty it brings.